All right, call this city council workshop, March 4th, 2025 at 6 p.m. to order. We're gonna stand and do the pledge of allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have the quorum, we have everybody present. So we'll go right into capital improvement plan.
Okay, so we have the document, it is the nice paper version for you guys to write on. The very first thing that we'll talk about is it's delineated, it's broken up into certain sections. So you have general projects, planning projects, water projects, wastewater projects, and tree projects, okay? The other thing that when we created the document, when you all approved the document, we knew it was living, it would change, adjustments would be made based on whatever happened, developer, whatnot, okay? So there are adjustments that were made. For example, we removed the loader, actually, it's under water projects, it's in red. The loader, we put it to the appendix, because it was not necessary at this time. And that's with some discussion with Public Works, so we put that off in the back burner. The other thing we did is underwater projects is we moved the 300,000 gallon reservoir recoding to 26-27. And we did that so we could look at purchasing a street sweeper, which is placed somewhere.
It's on the second page.
Is another street project?
Oh, thank you. Yep. So street sweeper, we replaced those, okay? Traded, thank you, traded. The other thing that we did is we moved the 10-yard dump truck back. We added a backhoe, and that's in water project, sorry. The dump truck is in water project, backhoe is in water project. So we did just a few adjustments, and that was with talking with Public Works and what we felt was most relevant, okay? Also that is updated on this is right next to water projects, you see, refer to current water system master plan. Next to wastewater projects, refer to current wastewater facilities plan. And street projects refer to the current TSP, okay? Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So what the plan was, the purpose of those is because we are going to be completing a the water project, we're gonna, or the water system master plan, we're gonna have a wastewater facility plan, we're gonna have a TSP, and all of those documents will be very specific in current, and how far out projects, Mike?
So the water system master plan will occur next fiscal year. We're gonna do an update to the wastewater facilities plan within the next few years. The TSP will be next year. And then we also have the parks master plan that's coming up that will be added to those list of improvements.
And how far out do those go? Like the TSP goes for?
Those are, well, the TSP is a 10-year horizon. But the other documents, those are 20-year forecasts on projects.
So when you're putting this together, you're not looking at what we have in our reserves now.
No.
So, okay. When you look at the very first thing up there that says green space, 440,000, and you've drawn a line through it. So you already think you're going to do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's another thing, sorry. All the yellow ones are either done or they are in process.
So you've taken money out of whatever some of the reserve account we already have to do that.
The green space, all of those were already budgeted for the 24-25. So that was already in the budget. And the green space will be working on writing. Mike, when are we doing green space?
We're gonna receive, the quotes on that here probably this week. So
This-
soon.
Okay, cool. But yeah, those are all that was the 24-25. That was the current budget, yeah, we have funds for that.
Okay, so when we do our budget this next coming year, we will see, a shortage, a spending of our reserve funds.
No.
We're still building reserve funds.
Yes, sorry, yeah, these are regular budget, the 25-26 regular budget items. That we're
I can budget anything I want to, doesn't mean I have money.
thankfully, yes, correct, thankfully, we,
Okay.
I just highlighted my line.
Is the backdrop is already paid for,
that truck is paid for, correct?
right? So you don't want to do that one? And the maintenance storage shop's already paid for?
That's done, yep,
Hey, Brandon,
yes.
Parks Master Plan. Didn't make it on here.
Mike, what were we doing with the park stuff?
Parks Master Plan is in planning project.
No,
But the
like
project that will
projects.
come out of it.
Did we talk about doing, what did we say?
We
Uh,
talked about. In the Parks Master Plan would be just reflected as within the Parks Master Plan. Kind of like with wastewater and water.
And you don't have a funding for the parks, by the way.
We do not yet. That's what, as soon as we get the park master plan, then we can start charging, setting up the SDC fees for that.
yeah, and it's
But we,
really. Once we get, well, the SDCs, it's kind of like, well, not kind of, it's a little bit like chicken before the egg. We have a current SDC, but those will be updated once all those planning documents are updated. And then when we do the SDCs, we'll also create a parks SDC and begin to create a funding source for the parks fund. And so, yeah, there still has yet to be a parks fund developed, which is something.
when you put a line item, right, for parks, like, you know, how we have like another section for parks? I can't remember what we said.
No, yeah, within the CIP, there will be another section that is dedicated to parks.
Okay. So, having said that, again, it's a living document, make adjustments, when we do the budget, we will, again, these are just thoughts of what would be 25-26. As you can see on the 25-26, those some ideas. The idea for today is to, again, discuss those updates and then to come up with, okay, what can you guys picture that we would like to have in the next 20 years? And this really is, we go out and we write it down there and then we add it to the appendix. Then we can pull from the appendix into the actual, like, the dollars and whatnot.
That we can do it.
The appendix we're gonna create, we didn't add all the appendix stuff over there. So, yeah,
So you're wanting us to add something to the appendix that
You can think of.
that we can think of.
That falls into planning projects, water projects, wastewater and street.
all right, yeah, we'll find a place for it. General, I mean, it all involves.
Well, since we're, all out and just thinking outside the box here, have we ever seen that, what is it, the Maxwell Building in Hermiston?
Yes,
What's that one?
it's like an event center. It's pretty nice. It's over by where PG used
It's right
to be.
across the street from Weimar.
Yeah, it's between Weimar and downtown.
Okay.
That little.
It's super cool, and I was like, you know, why don't we have something like that?
And it's like a multi-purpose thing?
Oh,
They
absolutely.
do events, weddings,
You do it for anything.
dances.
It looks like it has garage doors that open
Yeah,
up.
garage
The
doors,
entire
front
thing like
door,
garage
and
door.
bathrooms.
It's private
You
owned.
got, yes.
I know who owns it.
And
There's
How-
support
how
for
would
that
that
kind of
be
project in the
different
Parks Master Plan.
then what was built over by the state.
Because we don't have charge as much.
Well, and
So you're, but
birthday
you're, so you're,
parties, quinceañeras, we can't have them there.
right, but you're proposing though.
I would just
we
like,
would, like, as a city, we would own it and operate it?
absolutely,
Like a multi-purpose facility.
why not? And I mean, and how big, I mean, I was like, when I went in there and it's like, it looked like a glorified pool barn.
How about,
That's your really.
Or like that convention center, that
So
small
an
convention
actual-
center they have there.
or an actual,
Little.
a real sports complex.
Okay, yep.
Like,
And that's-
I'm talking like the Apple Center, where you can do multiple things there, something that seats 4,000 people.
Okay,
Those are like, the only one that's in our area is the convention center in Pelton. The next closest one is the Deschutes County Fairgrounds.
oh, like a sports complex indoor, not just, not just like the
So like
soccer. baseball.
Yeah, it's like an arena, so for instance, where we go to wrestle, one of our big tournaments, it's at the Deschutes County Fairgrounds, and the main area is the indoor arena, and then it's got several buildings around it. I don't know how many acres it encompasses, but it's a decent sized area, it's pretty easy to access, and then it's got all the hotels and. I just think, like, something like that would draw in a lot of people, considering our access to the freeway.
Well, it could be used for rodeos, was listed as one of those. things.
Rodeos, they
Um,
do rodeos, they do concerts
They
there.
talked about
they do
indoor
sports
soccer,
Events,
yeah,
they do a ton of stuff there,
so.
and like I said, it seats about 4,500 people,
Okay,
so. I think like along this turn, like something like that, if we're gonna think of something, think big.
But you could put a section in there for little parties and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
also, it has all of that stuff there, and so. It's a pretty cool event center.
And we have Mike that can help us draw it up. I've seen some that are multi-use where you can have that removable, like
Mhm.
turf and you can do
Yep.
indoor soccer.
Yeah, they do solid concrete, and then they bring in stuff that they need to, or remove it, or whatever.
And like the bottom half of the bleachers full of that,
Yep.
that other just.
Mhm.
bigger.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, there's some cool ideas. I mean, just being able
Yeah, it
to
comes
bring
with
that, because we don't have anything like that.
No, we don't, and like I said, the closest one that I know of is an hour away and then 3 hours away. Because it's not like Grand doesn't have anything like that, that isn't a school, you know, so.
well, good, got it down.
So I think Chief has been making the pitch for an indoor shooting range.
And that's on here, I didn't see it, sorry.
Is that
It's already, yes, it
Police
is already,
department design and renovation is about.
no, that's something else that we.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
indoor
so
shooting range
sorry, I
is there,
didn't
yes.
see it.
Sorry, yep,
Okay.
I'll let it again, yes, it is already.
So are we talking street projects?
Yep, everything.
So I would say, figure out a way to update all of the side streets in our town.
Okay,
Those are the ones that have always been missed when we do the road projects, it's all the little side streets, the cul-de-sacs, whatever it is that we can actually do. Those things always get missed.
and Mike, did you hear that?
So Richard, we have for next fiscal year, we've got $1.5 million dedicated toward road improvement.
For that specifically. Okay.
And what's it called, Mike? Oh, annual road repair and. So that is, that's very,
Perfect.
And
and,
we haven't done any road to speak of for a couple years, so that's already been allocated in the budget, which hasn't been expended, so we're rolling that over, and we're gonna do a big road improvement slash
yeah, the
maintenance. When
So, just out of curiosity, with, and I don't know how the water stuff works,
But I'm gonna guess in 20 years, especially if we're putting sports arena and stuff like that, right? You probably need another pump, I would imagine.
Probably
Another
don't
water house
update
and
the water
stuff
and
like that.
sewer again
Yeah.
in 20 years.
And yeah, that's not for the throw on
This
here.
one was gonna take us 30 years.
The,
Well, we're on a roll for 20 and 20, because we did in 2000, we did in 2020.
like our new water thing that we just did is like out, like ever and ever and ever. The wastewater it will be, but again, those will fall under the water master plan, wastewater facilities plan, because those will be ongoing, and in there they'll notice like, hey, yes, you guys need to look, do another look at, so it falls under that.
And you will not be drilling any more wells. I mean, that's the purpose of this.
Yes.
That was, we won't have to do.
They'll-
To use all of our water.
Unless we get more water rights, and right now, I don't think they're giving those away.
And you can have more pumps, you know, I mean, because we're gonna have water.
Correct, and all those pumps are all just part of the, like, regular maintenance stuff.
And adding pumps to the system is doable, is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Not to change the subject, but we need to go on a tour. Load the bus on Saturday, and because a lot of the counselors, we need to go through everything that we did.
Oh, yeah,
Out to the lagoons, down to the, where you really get water, and then to the building.
we can do that.
And then I'll point out the next house that needs to burn and Boardman. No.
Okay.
Let me think about that. I can think of a couple. It's so naughty.
Okay, all right, let's keep going. Any other that stand out? Again, and the whole point of this is like, we're gonna keep adding stuff. And it won't always have to be like this. It'll just, hey, can we add this? And that's what it is. It's a living document. The way, the hope is how we get this approved, it's going to allow that freedom and flexibility.
Okay, so I know that we talked about this, when I very first come on council, we talked about painting the water tower. And it took a couple of years, but we got the water tower painted. And it looked really good for a few years. But I think it's starting to get kind of,
Yep, put that.
and it's sort of a big symbol of us.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice if it was tidy.
Yeah, we're good. Right.
How about,
Good.
I don't know if this is on here,
Yeah, 'cause the whole thing's
updating
covered.
the city signs,
Oh, yeah,
like welcome to Boardman type stuff.
we're currently, Harlan and I are currently working on the ones like on, there's no signage that is out of the bombing range. There's no signage off the tower, and there's no signage off the Coonsey, and we're working on that. Yeah,
Nice.
but signage wouldn't necessarily be.
How about
like
coming
this,
off the
but-
Columbia and finding? I'm teasing.
Well, no, that's why you wanna paint Boardman on the backside of that, so that when they're going down the river, they know to get off here.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Yeah. And keep it clean so you can see it.
So, okay. Is there anything that's like, because again, street improvements, we have a general street. The water, wastewater, all those projects, it's just gonna hit on this, we're gonna have we'll add a parks component to this, to hit all those. If no one has anything pressing, so the library district is here, and it goes along with, on the very first page. So, police department design and renovation. So, that's kind of been kicked around, we talked about it, and if you look, we did move that up to next year, next budget, 25-26, to do a design. This is just a general estimate, nothing solid, about 150,000 to do the design.
Is that gonna be existing building or brand new building?
So what that means is, when the architect came in, when she gave her 2 cents, what it seemed like it makes the most fiscal responsibility is to move the PD. That it is cheaper just to move that side to a different location, okay? If we move it, we now have this open side over here that, hey, who wants to come in? So it was, I had a discussion with the library district, which they felt it was too small, which is fine. And then it really opened up other conversations, because a ton of stuff could go here. There's a lot of people that are looking for space. We could just totally open up for different options. But in that conversation with the library and with us moving the PD, the library is currently working on,
An RFP.
yeah, do you want to share?
No, master facilities. RFP was.
Yep.
We did an RFP to get a master facilities plan contract with Hacker. And, they are working with us to look at it all, and I'm just giving you guys some information about the library. For those of you that don't come to the library, there's a lot that goes on there. We are looking at all three of our branches to build a facilities plan so we can have a 20-year, plan like the city of, well, we're gonna say, you know, in this year, in this cycle, we're gonna, you know, replace our HVAC and that sort of stuff. So part of that is analyzing the current buildings we're in for expansion or replacement. And the Boardman building, it was the, Brenda, you want it?
Yes.
It was deemed that it is, 2,300 square feet. As you know, it's a rectangle. The new library target area of what we're looking for to be in a library would be a library approximately 7,500 to 10,000 square feet. That's why, the idea is the police station side of City Hall is too small.
And that's 4,000.
Yeah, we would only be getting 1,600 square feet. It's likely not worth renovating the existing building we're in. It's, you know, it's a cinder block building. So we were looking, and this is a really small picture, at the possibility of this property behind the library that's gonna go, parallel to Oregon Trail Boulevard that's coming. And it's the Mon property, would be a good location for a library building, is what we think. So we wanted to come to city council and see if maybe you guys think that's also an idea. We don't wanna, you know, we're not gonna make a permanent blueprint and a plan right now, we're just in our concept. We're in our concept idea of what we could do, so, we would build out a concept of what it would look like to be, go down.
It's right behind it.
Yeah, right there, that,
100.
yeah. And then our lot, you could either demolish that building and, you know, have parking and all that stuff. So I just wanted to go over some of the really basic things we're looking for in a library that's bigger. A place where the community members can come and have access to a building. And a place where we would have room for staff. We have 3 staff people that work in there and we have 1 office. So it'd be great to have a desk spot for the other 2. We would like to have a room for children's services where you could go into a room, shut the door and keep the little toddlers from running away while you do the story time. We have to have a room where you have a tea room where they could be in their way. You could have to see them in there, glass, of course, but, they can make noise and not bother the people that are on the computer. We like to have a space for computers. We like to have a space where people that need to have a Zoom meeting for an interview could go in a little room and have privacy. Quite often my office turns into that space. We'd like to have a space where our garbage can be lived so it doesn't blow away. I mean, there's a lot of things we would like. And so we've gone through all these things with our planners up till now. We want it to still be a small, comfortable, welcoming feeling. We don't want it to be off away from Main Street and away from the school area. We think where we're at is a great location. We like being close to the bank because we don't keep that much petty cash. So what if someone comes in with a 20 and you don't have any change, you just run over the bank, right? All those things about where we are wonderful. Not having any meeting rooms, not enough shelf space for our collection to grow, not enough storage space whatsoever. And I already mentioned the trash can. You know, we're one of the few places in town that has public Wi-Fi, and we get a lot of people in to use that. In Oregon, we have a bigger facility at 6,000 square feet, and part of that is a public meeting room. That public meeting room gets used on average almost 400 times a year. Sometimes several times in one day, different groups are using it. And most of the groups are from Oregon and Boardman. So to have a meeting room that could be used by the public, and it gets used whether we're open or not, like they check out a key and they can access just that room and use it on the weekend. So those are important things we're looking for in a location for a building in Boardman. So what we're wondering is, are you guys open to that idea, or do you already have plans for that lot?
What lot? No, I guess I missed the
So
lot.
it's 100. It's
The one
about-
above 408, 409.
Yeah.
Right there, where the arrow is.
So that's the one we just acquired from Mon. One of the possibilities when we talk about a relocation of the PD, I mean, was to go over in this area. Obviously, we do not own those, but that was a
408,
possibility.
409.
That was a possibility, looking at that, and then you have all of that, and if you throw in that, whether you level it and you put it as parking, that's another possibility, that you can make a facility.
Well, how does the city just build their own library?
The city would not, the library district.
That's what I mean. How do we just build our own and don't have to worry about the library district?
No, I mean, the funding is specifically from.
You mean build one for us to let us use it
No, I'm just saying, at the city of Boardman will build their own library.
and make your own library district? Yeah, no, I don't think that would work. We're voted on library district for 33 years. We're a special district
Yeah,
that's been in existence in Morrow County for 33 years by the voters. And it used to be a city library, and it's had several evolutions of where it lived. And, so to create a brand new library in addition to a library district,
Well, I just would say, I like, you know, how do we make it happen without having to worry about the library district building it?
I guess I'm not
so he's
catching
saying,
where you're going with this.
because with the library district doing it, you guys have to do it as a county. So I hear.
No, we're not a county. We're our own special district.
No, but I'm like, Oregon has a say in it, Hefner has a say.
Oh, our entire district would have a say if we did a bond. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
And typically, you guys can't just go and say, hey, we're gonna just go build one in
If
Board.
we had enough money.
Correct.
We are also looking at a new building in Hefner. Because as you know, we share that building with the museum and it's definitely not eligible for expansion. But in Hefner, there's much fewer spots for looking at, so we don't know how that will look.
Yeah.
So it might eventually turn out to be just Boardman, we're looking at to build something in the near future. But it might be Boardman and Hefner we're looking at to fund.
Correct.
Yeah, this city could build a building and then we would lease it from you.
I just
That's
like,
also a thing.
well, I just would, if we did that, then I would think that the ownership would then be, it just sounds selfish, but then it would be a Boardman library. And so I'm just like, you know, trying to think of ways to get it done to where to become your own, I guess it's the idea of I don't need anybody else.
Well, I think too, that having to depend on everybody else in the county to see the vision that we would have in Boardman is the difficult part.
Well, and we could eventually, when it comes down to it, just do it for Boardman, take a vote. And say we're just gonna vote for the Boardman residents of this library district to approve a bond so we could fund it.
I don't wanna,
And Brenda is on our board. She's
I
our chair.
am, I don't wanna, discount what you're saying. But I do think that Paul and Karen are trying to say is that if the voters in other places outside of Boardman don't approve of the plan,
Mhm.
they will vote it down, and then the library district won't be building anything.
Correct.
And that becomes, what are the other alternatives? So I think that's
Mhm.
where their heads are at.
I'm not sure if that's exactly where Mayor,
That is.
is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
cause I want to
Okay.
build, and so, and maybe I'm trying to fast track something, but it's like, I guess my vision is, how do we get everything Boardman and not so much tied with everybody else? I guess that's my vision.
No, and that is good. I mean, you're fine expanding special district.
No, I don't know if it's disbanding a special district, I just like, you know, if we could be in control of our own library, if that's
They
disbanding.
used to, back in the day, before we voted to have a special district, the city had was in charge of the library, and they said they couldn't fund it anymore.
That was
So
probably back
that's,
then.
so that's when
We're
it
in a
came
different
forward,
situation now, though.
like, oh, hey, we're gonna form a library district, and we'll have a tax rate, and we'll be able to fund
Yeah.
the library in Hefner and in Boardman, and then later, Urigan was added. So if the city wanted to make their own city library,
I mean,
that would be totally separate.
And it's just like,
I just like,
If we wanted to get, if we really want to do that, then what we ought to do is, like you say, we build the building and have them make money.
Release it.
Because,
to the
yeah,
district.
because they know how to do a library.
correct.
We know
And I
how to do the
always said-
business of a library, for
And,
sure.
yes, and I always said, the best part about being city manager of Boardman, Oregon, is that I don't have to lay off the city librarian as the first to go when I need a budget cut.
And to be honest, if someone else owned the building and we leased it, that would be the golden ticket, because I wouldn't have to then find a facilities person when it's time to do something, or, you know, the sewer problem, or any of those things.
And no, that would be a win.
Yeah, it would be a win. We know how to run the library.
Yeah, I just
We're
want
experts at
it to be, I mean, if there was a way that the city could do, to be able to do that.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where I'm at, because I want, well, it's 7-Eleven,
Or the Circle K.
Circle K, you know?
It was
I
better than where they
yes.
were. It was better than where they
Yeah, they
were.
were in the basement of the old city hall building for a little
There
while.
was someone else. before that.
were at the laundromat.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
for by the lot, yeah, which
Lisa,
was,
she used to work for the library part-time.
So wouldn't that be cool if we could build a building that was,
How many
That's
it
cool.
is?
We don't know. We don't
So
know.
you're not that far
yet.
yet.
Oh, heck no.
no,
We're just in the bare baby steps of this
yeah, in
process.
order for them to even proceed, they need to have, like, hey,
A concept.
architect, it is gonna go in this location, design a building that would fit on this
And then
location.
if it doesn't, then we,
how much money are you looking to spend for a new building?
well, like Karen said, millions.
A million? Only a
75,
No,
700,
millions.
700,
with
did
an
she
S.
tell me 700 per square foot?
Oh, yeah.
At least, and then you add on.
10,000 square feet, you're looking at 7.5
We're
million.
thinking more like 7,500 square feet
Yeah, you
would
better.
be the perfect,
So
number.
5 million then.
yeah.
it's still a chunk of change.
It's still a big chunk, for sure.
Well, I think it would be, what if I don't know, would there be a possibility to go half and half?
And again, in
Those
order
are
for them
ideas.
to do it, it would have to be approved by the district.
We were just
Well,
wanting
and the
to
district
see,
has to go out for a bond.
oh yeah, all that stuff.
To get their part.
Oh, I thought,
Right.
you don't have the money.
No.
No, we're building our master facilities plan, so we have something to use.
I thought maybe you had grant money that you were
No,
looking.
we do
oh.
not. At this point, you can't get a grant without.
Nobody's gonna pass a bond to build a board.
Okay, well,
That's rude, but it'd be very tough.
So would the city council be opposed to us looking at see how a building would fit on that spot? Or do you have plans for something else?
Well, and it,
we
it's not,
don't necessarily have.
I mean, we're not gonna buy it right
Yeah.
now, but we just wanna. Like in Hefner, we asked if we could maybe build up plans for, the grassy area next to the library. We told our planner this week, no. So, now we're looking at a different spot.
Yeah.
So if this site's a no, well, we wanna know it now, and then we can look around and build our dreams on another idea.
yeah, and we don't necessarily make a decision in the work
No, I
session.
Well,
I think it would be a perfect spot right there on the new Oregon Trail Boulevard. Look at
Well,
that.
we didn't talk about,
Well, and I think, okay, I was really pressuring Gary Mon to give us that piece
Mhm.
for the library. I mean,
And there's definitely like a collaboration, if we can get some property over there, there's a lot that we could do with that when you add everything together. Because again, we needing to find there's a couple of options for a new PD location. I don't know how some of them will pan out, but having it over by us would be great.
Well, who owns 300 and 405? Because those look like great PD locations too.
Where's 300?
300 is right next to the fire station.
Right across the street from the dentist.
Uh-huh. That'd be a
Oh.
sweet spot, maybe.
Oh, that's just for sale, I think the people that
So
have.
the one next to community counseling services is owned by community counseling services. That one right there, and that one down there is actually owned by somebody in the Tri-Cities who has reached out in the last week to talk about development opportunities on that.
Commercial side. Commercial side, what's a police department, is that commercial?
Municipal.
So, okay. No, but
Thank
those,
you for
no,
hearing us.
definitely
And
possibilities.
I love the idea of the city building.
So the only fear, I mean, and bring up the, so Kathy did bring this up, so the fear is, yeah, right now it's all hunky-dory, you're leasing it, you do a 50-year lease or something, well, it could at some point change, and that would be a fear that the library district has, where they could get kicked out of it and have no place to go, correct?
Correct.
You kicked out of what,
Like if you had a building that you own and we leased it,
We decided to do something else with it.
yeah. And all of
after
a
the
sudden
50
say,
years?
Correct.
or no, even before the contract ends, like in Josephine County right now, the county commissioner said, yeah, there's still a contract, but we're canceling it. And we now want you to pay $185,000 more a year than you've ever paid.
Yeah.
For this library. So those are some things that are happening in the Oregon library world and all over. So that was another reason why we were maybe in favor of the police part of City Hall.
And then, and the initial thought of having the library over next to us was feasibility. Like, what truly is the likelihood that you're gonna be able to get?
Yeah, but I see them getting kicked out, I see that.
Yeah.
Being kicked out sooner than anyone.
Yeah.
Because the city hall grows, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
That was my very first thought of, okay, but then it was like, no, that's not gonna work, and I was like.
Yeah.
Because I was like really freaking, because it's like, okay, maybe 10 years, but
Which could give them time to like get more money or whatnot, but I mean, it's really just up in the air,
Anyway,
but.
yeah, those are the things we're looking at in the library here.
Yeah. But ultimately, this concept of moving the PD really sounds like the best possibility. There's too many
all we have to do is move
restrictions.
the building official with them, right? And we'll build the building fund. I think that's all we have to do.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Harley, you need a new building, there you go.
Charlotte likes libraries.
She could be over in the, yeah, and then it's built.
So, anyway, that's
Thanks
all
for
I
letting
got.
us come to
Yeah,
the
thanks.
meeting.
Cause who's gonna check?
This is where you should be.
I agree, Karen, I agree.
I mean, when planning's going on for
And
Boardman.
senior center always had solar and I just noticed it today.
No.
No,
No,
it's
it's just,
Okay, thank
They
you.
got put on this year,
new, just in the last couple months.
Okay, so
with the food pantry.
there was not that I had missed it all this time.
okay, is there
And
anybody
then
else?
pictures, capital improvements. A public restroom that's open year round would be a lovely, addition to the city. We have a lot of people in the door just to use the bathroom in the winter.
Any other, like, that you guys wanna add, anything pressing? You're like, man, we gotta make sure we have on this.
Post office.
Yeah,
An updated post office.
yeah, and that is, I mean, that's talking about that, like, yes, it's all. I mean,
We could put a planning official in there too, right?
Make it multi-story.
Yes, that is the concept. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so a multi-purpose facility would be different than, what do we call it?
An arena.
Community
convention center.
services.
Thank you, community
Community
services.
services.
The one in Pasco is called the TRAC, the Trade Recreation and Agricultural Center. And the Hermison's, which is fully different, but
It's called the
It's,
BRAC.
it's pretty decent size too. It's decent size too.
No, those are good,
I mean, it's good to think grandiose, but it doesn't have to be grandiose.
It does not, but I mean, I think the concept and.
You gotta have a vision.
It is, and Chief and I have talked, it's like, hey, we want a PD that can accommodate 10,000.
Start with the proper chief.
Does it?
Yeah. Right, that's the call.
You swear it on there.
He's about ready to
For updating the.
arrest me like you did my kid.
Building. So that it's
Yes,
maybe
yes,
more
yes.
attractive to
Yes, there's
people
definite
that wanna
discussion.
use it.
Mhm.
About what to do with the old city hall.
Yep,
Not the old city hall, because that we'd like to
yeah, the old,
sell, but the,
oh,
the pink
Where
one,
it
or
used
not
to
the
be.
pink one, but the next.
That's the old city hall.
There's two old city halls.
Oh, we don't own it?
Yes, we.
No, it's privately owned by the same people that own the post office.
The Langtons,
The
I think.
Langdons.
Yeah.
Okay.
cool. That's all I got. Look at that, we're early.
Didn't realize
These
you-
tables.
That was it. This meeting is adjourned.
Anyone?